Hello and welcome to a new Fire Medical Chinese video, all up and how we go. Before we start, one small tip: if your boss is a woman, don't flirt with her. So in this episode, let's look at some other common diseases of the respiratory tract. Cystic fibrosis, 囊性纤维化 COPD, 慢性阻塞性肺疾病 Acute Respiratory Distress Syndrome, 急性呼吸窘迫综合症 Respiratory failure, 呼吸衰竭 Pulmonary embolism, 肺栓塞 Cystic fibrosis, 囊性纤维化 Cystic fibrosis, 囊性纤维化 So CF is an autosomal recessive inherited disease. It affects mostly the lungs, and the patient has frequent lung infections. This disease eventually progresses to COPD. Second up, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, 慢性阻塞性肺疾病 Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, 慢性阻塞性肺疾病 This disease is characterized by long-term breathing problems and poor airflow. Two older variants of this disease are chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Acute respiratory distress syndrome, 急性呼吸窘迫综合症 Acute respiratory distress syndrome, 急性呼吸窘迫综合症 ARDS is a medical condition occurring in critically ill patients characterized by widespread inflammation in the lungs. ARDS is not a particular disease, rather, it is a clinical phenotype which may be triggered by various pathologies such as trauma, pneumonia, and sepsis. Respiratory failure, 呼吸衰竭 Respiratory failure, 呼吸衰竭 Respiratory failure is classified as either type 1 or type 2. Type 1 respiratory failure is defined as a low level of oxygen in the blood, without an increased level of carbon dioxide. In type 2 respiratory failure, there is both hypoxemia and hypercapnia. Pulmonary embolism, 肺栓塞 Pulmonary embolism, 肺栓塞 It's a blockage of an artery in the lungs by an embolized thrombus or fat. The most common source is from DVTs. Symptoms include acute respiratory distress, chest pain, and hemoptysis. There we are, friends. Again, all up and high we go. If you have a lady boss, don't flirt with her. Repeat and internalize the words. Share and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you next time.
Created using Powtoon.